Hey, what is going on, everybody out there? This is Jakejames Lugo, senior editor here at thekoalition.com. Welcome to a brand new episode of TK Spotlight, where I bring on phenomenal individuals from throughout the gaming industry and throughout the internet, all over the place, to talk about their craft, talk about the good that they've done for people through their craft, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So today, I got a very special guest. I got a fun one for you guys that's going to be interesting. I got Mr. Toby Turner from TobyGames, Tobuscus, on YouTube with over 6 million subscribers on his channel, or one of his channels. So Toby, welcome. It's great to meet you. How's it going?
Thank you. Pretty good. Your voice is just better than mine.
Nonsense, nonsense. No, you got a pristine voice. Yeah, I got the radio guy voice, but you got that pristine, cool voice. You look like you sound like you could do those Superman radio shows. You'd be good.
Okay, I'll look into that. I haven't. I will.
Go. But let's start off, with a couple of questions and stuff, and let's talk a little bit about gaming. Let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about your career, a lot of your content, stuff that you've been doing. So right now we're in 2017 year of gaming. A lot of people saying that it's the most phenomenal year of gaming. It's been insane.
There's a lot of good stuff. Like you don't have time for it, even if it's your job, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good. There's been a lot of releases. I mean, how has 2017 in gaming been for you, for your YouTube channels? I mean, what's been the best part about it for you?
I went for a long time with horrible internet. Like up until a couple months ago, and this is pretty embarrassing, but my upload was like 0.5. And they would say that, isn't that hilarious? So and a lot of people that I talk to, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, what do you need faster upload for? I'm like, are you serious? There are people with 1,000 upload in freaking fiber out 0.5. So I just upgraded that and was able to really get into streaming, which is my favorite thing in the world. Oh my god,
nice!
It's the greatest. Do you stream stuff?
I used to. I actually, I suffer from the same problem that I don't have that great internet.
Yeah.
I need that 1,000 upload and download in my life.
I know.
But basically, I've done a little bit of it here and there and stuff. But let me ask you: do you enjoy the streaming a lot, frequently?
Yeah. Oh, it's the best. I mean, but what's cool about that is. And I'm just getting back into it. Like I used to stream a long time ago on Blog TV sponsor. It doesn't exist anymore. But so you have people that are there and they want you to perform or want you to just have fun, and you just get this support that it's really it's kind of like standing in front of an audience with the freaking microphone. But people can say stuff back. So it makes me feel a lot, because for years I was recording all this stuff, just no one could hear it until I would post it, if I would post it. Should we mention that we were disconnected?
Yeah, it's okay. We might as well. Sorry guys, Comcast disconnected us real briefly, but let's just dive right back into it though. So you were talking about streaming before.
Yeah, I mean the way because it's fun for me to try. Obviously, a new game that I hear is cool from my friends, but a lot of my friends don't really play new games that are popping. So in the chat, people will suggest stuff, and then right there they're like, yeah, you should play this game right now, and I'm like, okay. So then I'll just jump into something else, and then while I'm streaming. I'm still kind of figuring out, because back in my day, I was posting like 4 videos a day, and they were unedited 10-minute videos. Some of them sucked and some of them were great. But at this point, if you can stream, and if your computer's fast enough to stream and then also capture, or if you have 2 computers that are set up, one can pretty much just run the capturing, and while you're in OBS streaming, you can just freaking record, and then it's kind of a tricky balance because you have to interact with the people on stream. But if you're recording a video for YouTube, it just doesn't feel the same if you're talking to your stream people. So you kind of have to. I still have to balance that and make it feel good. But what I do now is in the stream, we'll just be hanging out, and I'm like, all right, guys, I'm gonna record an episode. And then I push record, and I'm like, I'm going to completely ignore you all for 12 minutes. And then when we come back and hang out again. So it's a lot more fun. It's just something that I just want to do for fun at this point. I mean,
that's cool.
It's freaking cool. Yeah.
That's pretty dope. I mean, you got a good system going on there. I know I've heard other streamers like, adopt something similar when it comes to like, setting up their chat, setting up their live stream, being able to record videos for on demand later on and stuff. At least it's good, and it's something that a lot of people are really gravitating towards over time.
Yeah, you just have to set it up once.
Exactly.
You have to really just set it up to where it doesn't suck, and then you have your setup, and then just be like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, and people will like it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So tell me a little bit about where the name Tobuscus came from. Like, I was always curious about this. Where did this come from? Because Tobuscus is not a common name, obviously.
No. That would be awesome if that was my name. But my name is unfortunately Toby Joe, because I'm from Mississippi, which is hilarious. So that's sticking with me. No, it's cool. It's great. Good job, Mom. It's a good name. Okay. But Tobuscus was like, I was in this play in high school. It was a funny thing happened on the way to the Forum, which is this, oh my God, is it Greek? Something like that. So like they would have the names like Hippocrates or whatever, like, those types of names. And then one of my, yes, Greco-Roman names. Exactly. And then, so one of my buddies, between Greco-Roman wrestling, he would just, one time he just was like, he was like, "What's up, Tobuscus?" And I'm like, "Stolen." And I just like,
and that's how it started.
Yeah, he literally called me that, and I literally responded. I'm like, "Stolen." I'm like, I'm gonna keep that nickname now, and he knows that. We joke about it sometimes.
That's cool. I mean, that sounds like plain simple. I mean, there's no like hidden meaning behind it, because how people are.
Nothing.
People got like a poem or a book related to their names sometimes. With some crazy story.
Not me. No. Mine just kind of fell out of someone's mouth, which sounds really weird.
And it worked out.
No.
It worked out,
yeah.
So
I like it.
That's pretty cool. So over time, since you first started on YouTube, you've gotten very popular. Again, you got over 6 million subscribers on at least one of your channels, and then a couple other million. Yeah, a couple other million on your other accounts on YouTube and stuff. So obviously, you've become very popular. Over time, has the popularity and the growth in notoriety allowed you to do things differently that you probably couldn't do before
Yeah,
when you first
well, now
started
I
out?
can just kind of reach out to game companies and just be like, "Hey, this game looks really cool," and then they're like, "Here's the key," and I'm like, "Yes." So I mean, that's pretty much the biggest perk in my life. Yeah, it's cool. You get invited to places and and you can dress up and look all important, which is fun for a while. You just you show up and like, "Ha, what's up?" And then there's cameras, and then you just make stupid faces. I mean, that's what I do. I'm not saying this is like a template, but for people to follow. But
So sorry about that again, guys. We got disconnected again because Comcast. I'm calling Comcast out.
But we just don't give up. We're just not giving up.
Oh, we're getting this podcast out. Oh, they're going to get this.
Podcast.
So
it's happening.
So again, we were talking about before. We were talking about your name, okay? But one of the things I wanted to ask you about, okay, and we touched a little bit about it, is creatively. Now that you've been able to blow up on YouTube, now that you've been able to garner a huge following on YouTube across all your channels, creatively, when you're making videos and stuff, has there been things that you've been able to do now that when you were starting out, you weren't able to do so much beforehand?
Yeah, it's cool to when people would reach out sometimes and send me stuff that they're working on, and I would check it out, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Let's do this and work on a project together, like an animated. There was an animated file that somebody sent, and then we ended up hiring him to animate my freaking cartoon series, which is my favorite thing. It's called Tobuscus Adventures, but this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I can animate stuff," and I was like, "All right, I'll check it out." And it was actually really freaking good. And then another thing is my buddy Terror Bright. It's a rock band from Florida. Really awesome rock guitar, and he's he basically mixes all my stuff. That's now. Cool. So yeah, I guess over time, just people that you resonate with. Also, Finn's graphics. I mean, he's this awesome artist. People would just send you stuff, and so I kind of get to be a little bit of a curator of awesome stuff. And then we're like, "Hey, do that for me, can you?" And it's really worked out.
Nice.
So that's been exciting, just to meet new creative people and who have abilities that I absolutely don't have, which is cool.
and
then
you
mesh.
come together. Yeah, and you come together and you
Yes.
work and make something awesome for other people. And in turn, more cool stuff to put out there for everybody, which is always great. So let me ask you this then, amongst all the games that you played, I mean, you've played some games that have blown up with your videos, like Minecraft, Slender Man, and the list goes on. Happy Wheels is another one. I want to know, has there ever been a game that maybe you tried to play for like a Let's Play or any sort of like series that just didn't work out? That like you were going through the process and all of a sudden things just weren't clicking enough that maybe you had to go back to the drawing board?
Yeah, I mean, that happens. It happens sometimes because it's tough to get into a flow of a new game. Well, I mean, with the way I do it, like I would sit down and just start playing and not plan on editing it. So, and I kind of had the mentality of like, if it sucks, I'll post it anyway, but I'll have a couple other videos that'll go up that day. So, people will be more forgiving. It doesn't really work that well now just because YouTube favors watch time a lot. And if you post videos that get really low watch time, your videos that are awesome sometimes are, super negatively affected. So it kind of, when I play something and it just isn't really feeling good in the past. I mean, I would still just like throw it up online sometimes. But now it's like, if I watch it back and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of boring. And I can't make it funny. It's the worst feeling ever. But let me think of is there a game that I can
Have
even...
you ever had to redo one? Like just completely just start from scratch?
Oh my God. Yeah. One time I recorded 15 episodes of Fallout New Vegas, and it was a while back. But then my laptop got stolen, and I was like, no. So like, oh my God, no, I'm sorry. Was it that? Yeah, it was that. But also, same thing happened to Dead Space, sort of, where I recorded a bunch of episodes, but like an idiot, I wasn't looking at the files I was recording, and I didn't realize until I was like, 10 or so episodes in, and they were awesome episodes. And I was same with the Fallout ones, and then they were just gone. Like they were super corrupted, and there's nothing. Like the audio was ruined, and there's nothing. So always check your settings and don't trust technology ever.
Right? Definitely, like that's mandatory.
Or the internet.
Yeah, don't trust technology, because like sooner or later you're gonna be that person like everybody else that has to redo something because either something got corrupted, you saved over something, you didn't save something.
Oh my God, dude! No, I actually had to back up. So this was like, it was very frustrating because I was at this point I was like 3 or 4 hours into Dead Space, and so I restarted the game. And got up to that point again. And then in the episode, I'm like, I'm just going to pretend I didn't re-record this. And I just like, just kind of went for it again. And I kept making jokes about how the episodes were like, this time they were just not as funny. I made a really funny joke there. Not this time.
That's crazy.
It ended up, I got through it. But it's a horrible feeling. It's just a thing that happens, and this happened like on all my channels, of course. But then when it happens, you're like, all right, I'm just going to knock it out again, and then I'll feel bad about it later. And that's a pretty good strategy. Otherwise, you can let it get to you because it is frustrating.
True. So speaking of those video stuff, like the games that we mentioned before, again, Slender Man, Minecraft, Happy Wheels, did you ever expect like some of those games, or even those games in particular, to get as big or as popular as they did?
No, totally not. I think my mentality of like, I'm just gonna go for it and just make this like as experience the game as viscerally as I can and just see what happens. But then some of them after the episode would happen, I'm like, oh my God, that was hilarious the whole time. Like I hope people get people can see that, because sometimes I would get into a flow on Minecraft, which is just this game that's like super, like so therapeutic.
You get in the zone
and relaxing. Yeah, that it puts you into this like Buddhist focused state.
That Zen-like state.
Yeah, Zen-like state. Steak.
I said steak, did I?
I would love to have a Zen steak.
Oh man.
No, but yeah. So sometimes you just you get into and like on a roll, and I would feel like I really want people to see this, and I guess I would have the feeling of, I think this would do well, but you really don't expect it to, because it was literally me recording for 10 minutes at a time when Happy Wheels was blowing up, and the videos were getting like 1 million views every day, and I would have to sit down and be like, oh my God, I have to record this, and it has to be one take because I'm not going to edit it because I have to do my other channels, And like, if it's not funny, a million people are going to be like, this is not funny. So it's pretty stressful.
Got to do it live.
Yeah, do it live.
Pretty much. But yeah, that's crazy. So you play a lot of games overall. Again, you play a lot of different variety of games from what I saw on some of your channels and what we've even talked about now. Is there one thing in the gaming industry, again, having been exposed to it, in one facet or another, that you feel like could be better or can be improved upon?
I mean, well, yeah, if I could just add the ability to freaking quick save in any game always, that would just be good for me. Because, like, I mean, it's obviously that would ruin a lot of games. But, like, there's so many games where you just can't, like, that are like Elder Scrolls games, but which you can quick save in, which has screwed me over sometimes because you would quick save, like, the second before I would die sometimes.
Yeah.
But, like, if you could just do that, because this stuff that happens sometimes in the middle of the game, like that you, like, I don't know, you miss or whatever, you want to go back. I would love to add that. I mean, I can't imagine that would really be a good for like a game like Cuphead.
True. Quick save. Well, actually, no. Cuphead might be good. Quick save, quick load, especially right before you die.
Yeah, but then you would just like incrementally like get through it like one bullet at a time. Like depending on how bad you are,
get those trophies.
But that could be cool. I mean, if they like, there should be like some kind of overall computer plugin that allows you to save progress in any freaking game. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe that's not possible, but I hope for it every day.
One day, I feel like at some point, as games get older, especially we see a lot of that with emulators and a lot of other games that are older.
Yeah.
From like that 16, 32-bit era that get that, when they're ported to other platforms and stuff. And I think eventually, as we go forward, we're going to start seeing the games that we start playing now, or even only a couple years ago, probably get some sort of similar treatment years from now, moving forward, which would be interesting.
Yeah.
So I want to know,
I'll pray for it.
Besides gaming, okay, you've done some acting, which I didn't know until I looked it up.
You've done
a little bit of acting.
You were
on 2 films, okay, or a few films that were mentioned. One was called Lugo, one was called Smiley. But also there was this little show that probably not a lot of people heard about it. It was on Cartoon Network. Unfortunately, nobody's heard of Cartoon Network, right? I mean, come on. The Annoying Orange, okay? You were the only human character on The Annoying Orange.
I was the human.
The human guy.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so fun. It was cool because a lot of the scripts that they would give me, they would let me kind of rework them myself.
Really?
Whenever I wanted, and they thought I was funny enough to give me that kind of comedic, whatever the word is, to like allow me to sort of play with the script. And I would kind of pitch lines before we would do a scene, and the director would be like, "Yeah, that's great, do it." Or we would just kind of rework like that. It was so fun. And also, like, there were like 20 people on set, and I was the only one on camera. So, great for my ego. But it was also like I was scared at first until when you get into a show or a movie environment where everybody just wants to make the best thing they can make. The interactions, like, and it's all like a genuine, like, we had a really good group. Like, every day it was like heaven. It was so fun.
That brings me to my next question I want to ask, which is a perfect segue, is like, how challenging was the transition going from doing YouTube content or scripted YouTube content that, again, you were really in a lot of creative control with, to doing something like The Annoying Orange, which is a TV show with a team of people, etc.
How challenging was it to not have to do any of the work? Super easy. Like, I mean, that's how I felt. Like, because as soon as I would leave, I'm like, I'm going to go edit for 12 hours. But like, it was great because you show up and you can focus on the creative, which is where the funny stuff comes out of, which you can do that obviously in editing also. It's just it takes a lot of the stress off. I liked it a lot. I think it was challenging to be like, all right, I actually have to learn some lines, but that was just so much more fun than challenging. I mean, it was challenging, but it was a blast.
Interesting. Let me ask you then, like, was there any like lessons or stuff that you learned while you were doing that show that you brought with you back to YouTube and implemented to your own content?
Oh, wow. Did I learn from my, I think, I don't know. I felt more, wow. I don't know. Maybe did I become less, I guess what would happen is instead I would try to work out my scripts maybe a little bit more in advance, which I think is good and bad, because some of my stuff that I think is the funniest stuff that I do, like I would do rants where I just complain about whatever that sucks. And later on, I would write it to where the script was hilarious instead of stumbling around. So yeah, I think it made me become more structured.
That's good.
Whether that's good or bad. Yeah.
No, I think that's a great thing. I think, like, as you do different projects, obviously you get little pieces.
You can keep them organized. Yeah.
Exactly. And, you
being
can
an adult,
you can implement new stuff into the stuff that you really are passionate about, and, have a good combination of cool content, which is interesting. So,
but you also lose you lose that little bit of a ability of, and you don't necessarily lose it. So I still would wing it. But if I kind of went in with more of an idea and didn't plan it out and just planned to edit a lot after the fact, I would just go off on these random tangents more, which, there's definitely a balance with that. I actually wrote a book, which is in my cartoon world called Tobuscus Adventures. It's not out yet. It comes out next year sometime.
Nice.
But but I started just kind of writing it, and I would go off on these tangents because I didn't have a structure for the book, which were hilarious. But in the end, like, you can't do, because a book is a lot of words put together, and it's like I didn't have kind of a like it took me like 6 months to figure out that, like, this isn't going to work. I have to kind of delete all of this stuff. But on God, am I making sense? But on YouTube, when I'm stumbling around, because the videos were more like three minutes, when you go off on these ridiculous tangents, that worked a lot better, I think, than in book form. And if you ever read the book, it's a great read.
Definitely check it out when it's out.
Yeah, please. But you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean, they go on this like series of adventures, and it's got a nice little happy ending, or does it? I don't know. Does it? I don't know.
Maybe it might be a horror.
Maybe.
You never know.
Right.
Cliffhanger. but let me ask you this. Speaking of side projects, tell me about the Tobuscus mobile game. Okay, obviously you started Indiegogo, and it doubled its goal. So tell me a little bit.
Really well.
What really kind of prompted you, or really where you made the decision to actually get into something like that? And I mean, how ecstatic were you when it doubled its goal? Because that's no small feat for a lot of different Indiegogos. Yeah,
well, so what we did, we started it out with kind of an idea of the game we wanted, but I didn't expect it to take on that much traction. It ended up like 600,000 or something like that, which is ridiculous. But like to do that, I wanted to make sure that everything, we spent all of it on the game and then some, which sucks. But you needed to, like, I just wanted to make the coolest possible game. And so I kept adding, like, different things and trying to make them work in the world. And it took a while. It took like 2 years to get the game to a place where I could play it all the way through. Nice. And, not hate it. But I like it a lot. It's actually coming out for PC this Christmas.
Nice. Right around the corner.
Yeah, it's coming up. And then console next year, like mid next year, something like that.
Which consoles are they coming out? Are they coming to all platforms, or?
Yeah, Xbox and PlayStation and Switch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get some of that.
I'm excited
to get some of that Tobuscus on your Switch.
Yeah.
That'll be
That's
dope.
right.
So let me ask you this then. I mean, obviously, mobile game stuff, starting Indiegogo, radically different than just playing games online on YouTube and stuff. Did you ever think about, besides that project there, about getting into other aspects of game design, as far as like voice acting, maybe in a console release, or even contributing somehow in some other like game release from like a third-party publisher or one of the big three?
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I'm actually a buddy of mine works with all of a lot of the voice actors on like Overwatch and a bunch of different games. But I'm meeting up with them soon. It would be fun to have a voice on anything. Just step into a vocal booth. Actually, before I started doing YouTube, I auditioned for for this. It was some kind of a game that never actually got released, but hopefully not because of me. But it was this like post-apocalyptic thing with this guy he's like really like very unhappy, but his wife died, and he sounds like that. He's like really raspy, yeah, like that, like a chainsaw. And it was so cool because there were hundreds of people there auditioning, and I had gotten it, and I was like, Like it was the best feel. Just remembering that moment now was the best, because I was like, I'm gonna try to have an awesome voice, and it actually, they liked it. And then cool. I got paid, but I got paid hourly, and it was like it was like for 3 hours,
really,
and that was the whole project. But yeah, I didn't have an agent at that point, but they got me to go through the whole game with all the dialogue in like 3 hours.
That's awesome.
So it was like a couple yeah, except that it was like a couple $100. But it was so worth it, and I would totally do that, millions of times more.
Nice.
Because it was fun.
Yo, so here's my other question I wanted to ask. If you had to shoot your shot, okay, based off of everything that you were just talking about now with voice acting, tell me if there was one series or one game that you wanted to pitch yourself for, or that you really wanted to be a voice in, what would that series or game be?
I mean, Happy Wheels 2 would be pretty cool. Happy Wheels is freaking awesome. And it would just be like, sound effects, which, but it would be pretty cool to have my own voice having, experiencing pain for me to react to.
just different agonizing sounds.
Yeah, no, but I think oh my God, the Telltale Games, some of their stuff, it would be cool to do something really dramatic and that's just well written and awesome, because they've done some amazing, like the Walking Dead stuff is just freaking amazing. I mean, anything that would just kind of give me a chance to just to do some dramatic acting would be pretty fun.
True. I think that'd be a really good place for you to go to. That'd be something awesome. Telltale, hit them up. Telltale is all I'm saying.
Hit me up, Telltale.
So here's the one question that I ask all of our guests that come on TK Spotlight. I ask them to see if they could give something to the audience, one piece of advice, one food for thought that they could give to everybody that they walk away with this episode with, that'll hopefully help them out down the line. What is one piece of advice or one thing or one thought that you could tell everybody here that's listening to the show?
Yeah, I think make something that you love, and then I mean, if you want to make a job out of this stuff, make something that you love and edit it until you just completely love it. Like spend your time kind of crafting that, because when you love it and you listen to it back, and then you make it awesome, it kind of becomes easier for you to figure out what kind of content you really would love to make. And once you find out, stay consistent, because as long, because you can do anything, you can say anything, you can make any kind of content you want now, because we have all the freaking tools. If you just find out what your best thing that you, because we're all good at something. You can be really amazing at something by putting effort into it, and once you kind of find out what that is for you, stick to it, because not everybody can do what you do. Yeah.
I agree.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. I think that's some good words. Just do what you love.
Thanks.
I mean, clearly you've done what you love, and look what it's gotten you at. I mean, look what it's allowed you to do, which is pretty cool and such.
Yeah, it's fun.
But Toby, thank you. I appreciate you sticking with me through all the Comcast craziness and all the other stuff. But again, this was a fun chat. Where can everybody find you right now?
I would say go to youtube.com/Tobuscus. Just after I finished writing the book, like I'm just spending more time doing. I make literal trailers, and which is just I sing stuff over the trailer, and I've got some funny ones that are in the works. And yeah, Tobuscus.
That's cool. That's dope. And then you said you got the game coming out this Christmas. The mobile game.
This Christmas coming out. So yeah, it's called Tobuscus Adventures Wizards, and you draw symbols to cast spells. It's pretty sweet. And it's got a lot of voice acting.
It's on iOS and Android?
It is right now, yeah.
iOS and Android, and then eventually you say it's going to come to consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, again, thank you. This was a dope chat. Yeah. Hopefully you guys in the comment section, let me know what's up. If you guys enjoyed this chat with Toby Turner, let me know your guys' reactions. Leave me a like on this video on the Koalition YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe as well. And make sure that you guys rate and subscribe to the show on iTunes. We're on iTunes right now. Can you believe it? It's pretty dope. So definitely check out all the episodes that are on there. Every single one that we have of TK Spotlight, including this one. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And we will talk to you again very soon. Peace out.
Cool.
And stay epic, everybody.